We're going to move on to a topic that's actually a holdover from yesterday. You know, this reminds me of those tweets that are saying there are entire worlds that you know nothing about. I know nothing about SEC culture. I always say, find you a man who thinks SEC stands for Securities and Exchange Commission. But most of the time when people are referring to SEC, they mean the Southeastern Conference, which covers a lot of schools that are in D1 athleticism. And there are these couples right now. Thank you.
Whoa, whoa.
Hold, please. Phil just looks like he's having an even worse time than usual. So obviously the college students are going back to campus and the football season is beginning, and they're posting a bunch of TikToks about rush season because a lot of them are in Greek life, but these SEC couples are truly a sight to behold. It's like a culture that I knew nothing about, and I think that you, being a Southerner, have more context for this. There was this one particular couple from TikTok that got screenshotted and then dragged on X so unfairly the other day, and I felt the need to defend them because people are literally bullying them, like these random teenagers, for like supposedly not being accurately looks matched with each other.
This was a looks match until like 15 years ago.
That's what a lot of people are saying. We'll get into that in a second. I wanted to show this this TikTok next from Tasteful Lindy. It says "Head South, young man," and it shows in the caption it says "Coke date season." Can you tell me what a Coke date is?
I think that means doing cocaine, right?
I don't think that these kids are doing cocaine.
So the thing about SEC culture, broadly speaking, is there's huge churn. Like everything changes very rapidly at breakneck speed. So I'm 2 years removed from college. I mean, I didn't go to an SEC school, but that's the culture I came from. Most of my friends did. And the environment that we were in is completely different from what's going on now. I don't know what a Coke date is.
I don't know what a Coke date is either, but it appears that these students these male students are filing into a sorority house, and they're getting randomly paired with the girls who are walking down the staircase.
You'll notice
to
here,
go to a party together.
Right.
They walk to the party together, but I learned when you get to the party, you don't stay with the person that you walked there with.
Okay.
You just go your separate ways once you make it to the party.
Well, you'll notice this gentleman here, and you'll see this throughout the video if we skim here. These gentlemen, the backs of their shirts, these gentlemen here with theirs, these are Peter Millar. So this is a brand that has been popularized very recently in the SEC specifically. And it's a brand of polos that have really taken the SEC by storm. So these gentlemen here are donning Peter Millar golf shirts, and this is formal wear. So like when I was coming through, it was Vineyard Vines shirt, like an Oxford shirt. It was khakis.
Simply Southern as well.
Simply Southern, and then you would pair that with maybe some Sperry topsiders.
Yes.
Where now the game has changed. So now you're going Peter Millar golf shirt. You're going Lululemon.
They
khakis.
sell khakis at Lululemon?
Oh, they sell khakis. They will sell you a pair of khakis.
This is news to me.
And the shoes is rapidly changing right now. The general mood in the SEC is a New Balance. People are big on the New Balance.
Right, the dad shoes.
Right. Air Force Ones are out. So 2 years ago. So that is the new uniform of the SEC. And as you finally start to learn these things from the outside, it will change. So in 2 to 3 years, it'll be a completely different wardrobe. Peter Millar will be out. You know, who knows what the next big pant is? Maybe the return to jeans. I don't know.
I assume you know less about the fashion trends for the women dating the SEC guys.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But I know.
I mean, I'm guessing a lot of them
involved.
they're going to be wearing like it used to be Lily Pulitzer, like all of the girls at these schools wore Lily Pulitzer.
Right.
Now I think they're wearing Love Shack Fancy, Free People, Lululemon.
Lulu's still got the tight grip on everything.
And probably Pretty Little Thing post rebrand. Anyway, I really disagree with the negativity that's being sent their way. I don't see anything wrong with this. I don't think they're referring to snorting cocaine.
No.
Although some of them might be dabbling in those things. For the most part, I think it's just jealousy and like people of a different socioeconomic status
Right.
not relating to them because
The SEC.
these kids are paying full ride.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are Northerners. So a lot, like the big problem in the SEC burners, which I'm sure you're familiar with, the audience maybe not so much, is there's the burnerverse. It's kind of on the way out now, but it was SEC students specifically would make a burner Twitter, and they would just talk a bunch of mess on there. And that's a
They
good
had Yik Yak too.
right. It's a good way to get a glimpse into what's going on.
Did you use Yik Yak
Oh,
in
yeah.
college?
Yeah, and I got banned because I name dropped someone.
Is
you're
that
not
against
allowed-
the rules
yeah,
on
you
Yik Yak?
can't name drop.
I think Yik Yak still might exist, but nobody
It
uses
still
it.
exists, but it's mostly different kinds of people that use it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember, well, and I went to school in New York, so I was very removed, but I went to a school that was populated by Long Island students, and that still shared a lot of similarities with the SEC culture, for sure. And Yik Yak was a big thing. That's where you go and you would settle scores, right? You would
Guys,
go on
if
there.
you don't know Yik Yak, it was this app that was popular in the 2010s where you would make an anonymous account and you could drop a post that would just be visible to the people in your, what was it, a radius of like
It was like 5 miles.
5 miles
Yeah.
or something, and you could be in a college classroom and be like, cough if you're in philosophy 101 right now, and then
Yeah.
the professor would get really confused. I don't know, like it was usually not used for tea.
No, at my school, it was mostly people carving stuff into the carpet in the laundry rooms. Like different
That's
shapes and that sort of thing.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I know, but people, it became an arms race of who could like put the most abstract art into the carpet, and then they would go on Yik Yak and they would celebrate their victory.
Okay.
So there's the thing. I think most of the tension with the SEC, why people are so upset about this, why there's so much vitriol pointed at their direction, is because yeah, they're wealthy, of course. They're also just not they're very attractive, conventionally attractive people.
Well, pull these two up again, because I have some takes on their looks match debate that I've pulled up here. One said, you hear women whine about unrealistic beauty standards, but these SEC posts show it's really men being judged unrealistically. This is a perfectly normal, reasonably handsome guy. You expected this girl to be dating a movie star? And I think the only respect in which she's out of his league is that he's a little bit pudgy, but he could fix that easily. He's like
and
12.
the SEC, we're a little pudgier down there, like, you know, because you have Cane's.
It's bulking season.
You have Cookout. you have these sorts of restaurants. You have Chick-fil-A. So it's like this is actually.
I always thought Cookout sucked.
Oh, Cookout! I love Cookout.
I'm a transplant. I'm a Marylander that moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I did not understand. And I also wasn't even like in the South properly. I was
Sure.
in Raleigh, which is just another, these days, copy and paste city that you could find anywhere in the U.S.
It's like a Boston suburb.
Yeah.
South. Yeah.
So
But
there were kids wearing the uniform, but
Right.
no one had an accent.
Well, I liked Cookout because Cookout is sort of if you put a child in charge of the menu. It's like I'll have a quesadilla.
Yeah, it's
and then
kind of
I'll
ridiculous.
have like cheese
It's the Tim
bites.
Hortons of the South.
Yeah, but I think it really did something for me because I have really bad taste, generally speaking, like with pretty much everything. And Cookout was no different, and it really did something for me. It really scratched an itch. It really filled a void that was in my soul. Was Cookout. You get your ice cold cheer wine shake, and then you get your 2 chicken quesadillas.
Never
You pair that
understood
with
the
a
cheer
cheese
wine
bite.
thing either.
You pair it with a walking taco. You could do that there. You could do a little bit of everything. And it was like $6. Like that was the craziest part. It was
Probably
like,
not anymore.
and the employees weren't like falling up, like their lives weren't falling apart. We went pretty hard on the employees of the fast food establishments across the United States yesterday. The cookouts that I go to,
I've had terrible experiences with Cookout employees.
look, they definitely have substance abuse problems. There's no doubt about that. But like generally speaking, these were guys and gals that were just excited to work at Cookout. Maybe not excited, but
I disagree. The
but they
last time
were-
I was at a Cookout, which wasn't that long ago, is probably like after the heyday of Cookout, and this will be the last time I'm ever going to a Cookout.
Okay.
The employee at the drive-thru like turned on the speaker and didn't say anything and just expected us to
Right.
hear the static and start talking. And then we were confused and we were like, hello? Is anyone there? And he was like, what do you want?
Right.
And started yelling at us. And I was like,
Yeah.
is this just built into the price?
You know how many people in this country want Cookout? They don't have time to do all this little small
And also,
talk.
I got a peanut butter milkshake that just didn't taste like peanut butter at all.
Well,
Kind of
and that's
disappointing.
another great thing about Cookout is it's little bit of intrigue, a little mystery. You don't know quite.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Cookout is like a box of chocolates.
Real. Well, I mean, compare that to Burger King, where it's like half the time your order is just completely wrong.
Another take said this was considered an absolute stone cold looks match 40 years ago, but now people gawk at them like they're zoo animals. Another one said, from my fraternity days 20 years ago, these types of couples were very common.
Yeah.
The dude has a rich family. It's that simple. I can't speak for other parts of the country, but in the SEC, the hot sorority girls are on a mission to lock down the richest guy they can. One of my fraternity brothers was a few points lower than this guy and married a girl who was always shown on TV during games because she was so beautiful. He wasn't tall, he wasn't in shape, he wasn't good looking, but he took her on his dad's private jet to away games. Still happily married with 5 kids, living on the lake and jetting around. I mean, I assume most of these kids don't have dads that own private jets, but similar situations.
They're probably own a real estate company
something
or something
like that. Like they're gonna have their first job out of college at their dad's company.
Right. Yeah.
Another one said, these pictures pop up every so often and people say he comes from wealth, she just wants his money. Maybe. But Southern colleges have lots of guys like this who are jovial frat dudes who are nice and fun. The girl likes that because he reminds her of her dad or brother, but like not in a weird way.
That's the problem. Is
Not in a weird way.
Hopefully.
In the South, society is still functioning to some degree, right? Especially in the evangelical world, society is still functioning to some degree. So you have people from the rest of the country who fundamentally have gone through a lot, right? A lot of things have happened to them. They've had pretty tough lives. So they're projecting that onto these kids, saying, oh, she's just marrying him for his money. And I'm like, no, this is a couple that just likes each other. Like, because in the SEC, and the similar things going on in Utah is their lives are actually they're having good childhoods. They're like, well put together, these sorts of things.
The Mormons are locked in.
Yeah, they're not going through all this stuff. And so the rest of us in the country, we're looking in and we're projecting sort of the trauma onto these couples. It's like, that's not what's happening. This couple just genuinely likes each other. The woman probably finds the man, somewhat attractive and
pleasant to be around.
Pleasant, yeah. So it's like
well socialized, unlike many young men these days.
Right.
That's why I wanted to do a callback to these.
Unlike many young men
these two
days.
Infamous photos in a tweet that I put out some months back. These 2 photos will send right-wing Twitter into a meltdown anytime that they're reposted, because it just represents normalcy, and so few chronically online people understand that. And if photos like this outrage you, something is wrong with you, not the people in the photo.
And this is very, the SEC, this still exists in the Southeast United States. Again, specifically in like the evangelical world, life still is like this to a large degree.
Like this picture was taken probably like 15 years ago or more.
And this one's recent.
More recent,
I mean, you can just tell this is recent.
But they're the same people, and
I saw this all the time.
They're in their own bubble, and that's a good thing.
My high school experience, I didn't have W Riz like him, but I was like, had like fairly normal experience. It's when I was pulled out of that is when things got a little weird. And so I think in the Southern United States, there's a lot of problems. There's pertinent anti-intellectualism. There's a lot that can be said about that. And that's probably a good thing to some degree. But like society still functions fairly normally down there. It's just true. Most of my friends that I grew up in Memphis, in a Memphis suburb, and all my friends that I grew up with, to a large degree, have pretty normal lives. Like they're getting married 20, 23, 24. They're having children now. They have decent jobs. Like everything is just kind of working like clockwork. And then I compared it to my friends. Like I went to high school in like South Texas. I mean, it's like the bar scene from Star Wars down there. Like the women have like, crazy neck tattoos, and the guys are just like wearing cowboy hats everywhere, but they're not even like cowboys. They like work as a car dealer. And then New York is like a total free for everyone's doing coke, like it's
Sometimes
crazy.
you're not invited to the function because you don't do coke.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legitimate, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they're not getting married till they're like 40, if you even make it that long. Like it's crazy up there. And then you go down to like a Memphis suburb and you get this. You get something very beautiful like this. The kids are going to school in their Broncos with their Peter Millar shirts.
I knew a girl from one of my schools in North Carolina whose dad owned a car dealership, and it was like a Jeep dealership, and she got for her 16th birthday just a decked out like pink Barbie Jeep that she drove to school.
Yeah.
And one day she took a turn like quite aggressively and just toppled it upside down. in the school parking lot.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's an aura hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the South, there's the seniors are still painting their parking spaces in the South. People don't realize this is
Oh, yeah.
this is commonplace in the Southern United States.
They paint their cars for graduation.
And I'm
all
not saying
that.
it's a utopia. I mean, for one, the weather is horrid. The weather is absolutely horrid. There's no question about that. So I'm not saying, and there's a lot of other problems, right? Like there's, won't get into it. But generally, if you want like a normal American life, the South, you can still get that in a lot of places. You just kind of have to like get off Twitter. You need to throw away some of your books that you have, and you need to
throw away Bronze Age mindset.
Certainly have to
reconnect with reality.
If you know if you even know what that is, it's too late for you.
Probably over for you.
This right here, this love. If you know what Bronze Age mindset is, it's over for you already. It's over.
Well, I say my decree is some of the kids, maybe a small portion of the kids are all right.
Yeah.
That's where I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.